You know, it's in my DNA, really, to be fighting on the side of everyday people. Many years ago, I left a law firm partnership to form my own small firm. We were four attorneys at our height, and we fought for everyday people, for civil rights, consumer protection, antitrust enforcement. Talking about environmental justice, we fought big oil, and we forced them to pay $50 million to improve the air quality in the area where they were impacted. Where that comes from is really from my parents. My mother and my late father both grew up in the Jim Crow era South. I know about redlining. Who was the good lady who had the fresh Empower DC T-shirt? I think her name was Sharon. Asked if folks knew about redlining. You know, I know when my parents went to buy their first house in 1959, they told them that they weren't financing homes for blacks in that neighborhood at that time. And so, you know, there were a lot of changes since then. And my father believed in the power of the law to change our lives for the better, particularly for minority folks. He graduated from an HBCU in 1954, the year that the Brown v. Board decision came down. And he was the one who inspired me to go to law school. And he instilled in me a sense of duty and courage to fight for change. Now, that's what I've been doing the last 30 years. Fighting for civil rights, voting rights, consumer protection, antitrust enforcement, and other issues on the side of everyday people. And you say, well, what does that have to do with environmental justice? And I submit to you that you need somebody like that who's a fighter, who's been the David against the Goliath, fighting to make change. Now, I can assure you that if you elect me Attorney General, that when it comes to private actors who are polluting our air and polluting our water, that I will use the full power of the office to go after them. I've done that type of work before. You don't have to just take my word for it. Look at what I've done my entire career. I also know, and I think this is owned by the district, right? I also know the district does wrong sometimes. I've sued them a couple times myself and won. And it's been defended by the very office I'm seeking to lead now. And some people say, well, you got to defend the district as Attorney General. How are you going to square that with all this talk about advancing the public interest and affirmative litigation? And I see no contradiction. We always, at all times, and this is the standard I will set forth, I'm wrapping up here, must protect the public interest. So that means that if an agency of the district that I'm counseling and advising and representing is violating the law or being unfair, that my duty is to counsel them to make it right. And, you know, I'll do it nicely at first, but I'm not going to just whisper, hey, would you mind, you know, complying with the law? You know, when you get around to it, if it's not too much trouble, I'm going to demand that they comply with the law. And I can assure you that I will stand with you on these issues. One last thing. I'm so glad you had this here today. For those who say, oh, this new bus depot is only going to increase pollution by 0.08%, let them come to this park and let them come to this street. And they will understand that statistics can lie. And they'll understand what the good woman was talking about in terms of the rats and the air quality. Let them come here and they'll understand that this has to be fought and this has to be changed. Thank you so much.